Hey brother, there comes a point in a man's life where blind trust dies. Not love, not hope, not his ability to feel. Blind trust. That soft, naive, undisciplined part of him that used to hear sweet words and treat them like law. The part that thought chemistry meant character. The part that mistook affection for loyalty, attention for commitment, and early warmth for long-term truth. That version of a man gets hurt the most, not because he loved too deeply, but because he believed too quickly. That is the difference. A lot of men were not broken by women first. They were broken by the fantasy they built before a woman's character was ever tested. They heard, "I've never felt this way before," and started building castles. They heard, "You're different," and started handing over trust like it was a gift basket. They got one good month, a few deep late-night calls, some soft eyes, some future talk, and suddenly they were treating potential like proof. That is how men get blindsided. Not by evil, by illusion. Stay with me here, because what I'm about to tell you next is where most men finally wake up. A woman can be affectionate and still be unstable. She can be warm and still be inconsistent. She can say all the right things and still not have the discipline, integrity, or emotional maturity to build something real. Men keep confusing a woman's emotional intensity with her actual character. Bad mistake. A woman being excited about you is not the same as a woman being solid. Those are two completely different things. And the problem is, most men do not know how to tell the difference until life applies pressure, because pressure reveals everything. Anybody can be sweet when the vibe is good. Anybody can be loyal when nothing is being tested. Anybody can say forever during a wine-soaked weekend, a rooftop conversation, a vacation, or a phase where the chemistry is high and the future still feels like a movie. That means nothing by itself. Nothing. Character shows up when the mood drops, when your attention is not constant, when your life gets heavy, when you say no, when she does not get instant reassurance, when things become inconvenient. That is when the truth starts leaking out. Now, stay with me, because this next part is what separates boys from men. A lot of men do not actually trust women. They trust relief. That is why they believe too fast. It feels good to believe the affection. It feels good to think, finally, I found someone different. It feels good to place your head on the soft pillow of certainty and say, maybe I can relax now. So he ignores what is off. He ignores the orbiters still hanging around. He ignores the inconsistency in her energy. He ignores how she handles conflict, how she speaks about her exes, how quickly she shifts when she is not getting what she wants. He ignores it because the fantasy is comforting, but comfort is expensive when it is built on delusion. That is why men need to stop asking, "Does she like me?" too early. Wrong question. The real questions are harder. How does she move when she is disappointed? How does she handle boundaries? How does she speak when she is not getting her way? Does her warmth survive inconvenience? Does her effort survive boredom? Does her respect survive your silence, your focus, your standards? Wow, that is where truth lives, because affection is cheap now. Attention is everywhere. Talking stages, late night texts, emotional oversharing, fake depth, curated softness, all of that is easy. A woman can mirror your values in week 2. She can say she wants loyalty, honesty, peace, and something real. Fine, most people know the script. The question is whether her behavior still matches that script when it stops benefiting her. That is the test. What I'm about to tell you next is where a lot of men betray themselves. They project male loyalty onto female emotion. A man says, "If I mean it, she must mean it." Wrong. A man says, "If I would never switch up like that, she won't either." Wrong again. He thinks his way of bonding is universal. It is not. That is why he gets caught staring at the wall after a breakup saying, "But she said," brother, stop. Stop building your life on what she said during an emotional high. Stop treating words like structure. Words are air until they survive time. Watch patterns, watch consistency, watch sacrifice, watch who she becomes when the easy version of you is not available. That matters more than all the poetry in the world, because the wrong woman does not always betray you with one giant event. Sometimes she betrays you slowly. She starts speaking with less care. She gets colder when you stop performing. She becomes irritated when your life is not revolving around her emotional climate. She says she wants honesty, then punishes it. She says she wants peace, then creates tension every time the room gets too stable. She says she wants a strong man, then resists every boundary that proves you are one. Be it men see this and still keep hoping the early version of her will come back. That hope is the trap. Now stay with me, because this is where the real masculine shift begins. You do not become powerful by hating women. You become powerful by refusing to be seduced by your own fantasy. Big difference. Hate still means they control your emotional weather. Bitterness still means they live in your head. Real power is cleaner than that. Real power is when you can appreciate beauty without worshipping it. Enjoy connection without drowning in it. Stay warm without becoming naive. Move slowly enough to let reality prove itself. That is grown man energy. And it is rare. Most men still hand out trust as a reward for chemistry. She is beautiful, soft-spoken, emotionally available for 3 weeks. And now he is already talking like she is different. No, she is unproven. Attractive does not mean safe. Vulnerable does not mean disciplined. Affectionate does not mean loyal. A woman's early softness can be real and still not mean she has the depth to carry loyalty when life stops feeling romantic. You need to understand that. A woman's best branding happens early. Character shows up later. That is why smart men move slow. What I'm about to tell you next is the part society hates. A man should not be easy to access emotionally, not because he is cold, because he respects the weight of what he gives. His trust is not a free sample. His loyalty is not a trial version. His vulnerability is not handed out just because the mood was good and the chemistry was strong. No, a woman earns that through consistency over time, through patterns under pressure, through the way she moves when things are inconvenient, unglamorous, and not centered around her. That is not paranoia, that is structure, and structure saves men. Because once a man stops trusting blindly, a lot of his suffering disappears. He stops being shocked by mixed signals. He stops collapsing when affection cools off. He stops begging for clarity from women whose behavior has already told the truth. He stops trying to fix what was never stable enough to build. He stops confusing his own need for comfort with some deep spiritual bond that just needs more patience. No, he becomes observational, calm, harder to shake. Not because he feels less, because he sees more. That changes everything. Now, what I'm about to tell you next is what most men learn too late. A woman's real self shows up in 3 places fast: in disappointment, in boredom, in power. Watch how she acts when she is disappointed. Does she communicate or punish? Watch how she acts when things get boring. Does she create or drift? Watch how she acts when she feels she has power over your emotions. Does she become more respectful or more careless? Those 3 places will tell you more than 6 months of romantic dialogue ever will. That is where you stop being a dreamer and become a reader of reality. And once you get there, your standards rise naturally. You stop calling inconsistency complicated. You stop calling emotional chaos passion. You stop calling disrespect a rough patch. You stop giving 2nd, 3rd, 4th chances to people who keep showing you their character every time pressure hits. You get cleaner, sharper, less willing to bleed for unfinished people. And that does not make you cruel, it makes you disciplined. Discipline is love for your future self. Because the man who keeps handing his heart to untested women is not romantic. He is reckless. He is building his life on weather and wondering why the house keeps collapsing. Enough. You need stone now. You need reality, patterns, proof, time, pressure, repetition. That is how trust is built, one stone at a time. Not through pretty speeches, not through chemistry, not through what she says she wants, through what she consistently does when there is something to lose. Now let's land this where it matters. This is not a speech about shutting down. It is a speech about waking up. You can still love, you can still be kind, you can still let a woman in, but never blindly. Never again. Not after 1 month, Not after one emotional weekend, not after one season of intense attraction that has never been stress tested by real life. That part of you has to die, the part that rushes trust because he is starving for certainty. Kill that part. That is the part that keeps getting you hurt. The stronger version of you moves different. He observes first, invests later, listens more, projects less, and never confuses emotional theater with actual character. That man is harder to manipulate because he does not need fantasy anymore. He can look at a woman clearly. No pedestal, no resentment, no blindness, just clarity. And from that clarity comes peace. Not the fake peace of being numb, real peace. The kind that comes when your emotional safety no longer depends on someone else keeping their mood steady. That is freedom. So hear me clearly, brother. Do not trust blindly. Do not believe quickly. Do not hand over your inner world because the first chapter felt magical. Let time expose truth. Let pressure reveal character. Let consistency earn trust. And until then, keep your heart open but your eyes wider. That is not fear. That is wisdom. That is how a man stops being broken by illusion and starts building a life that cannot be shaken by it.